Chip is one of my favourite personal finance apps, and have recently launched a Cash ISA, which offers an interest rate far superior than the traditional high street banks out there. In fact, it's nearly double the best rate offered by the big four banks of Barclays, Lloyds, NatWest and HSBC for their equivalent Cash ISA accounts. This makes it an attractive account as it promises good returns whilst also benefiting from the tax savings afforded from the ISA wrapper. And in this video, we're going to provide a full review of Chip's Cash ISA, dissecting the features, benefits and drawbacks. By the end of the video, my aim is to equip you with all the knowledge you need to determine whether this account is really worth it for you. But before we get started, if you're new to the channel, I'm Alex, a management consultant by day, and on this channel we like to discuss all things personal finance with a particular focus on how to grow your money. And if you enjoy the content, I'd really appreciate a subscribe as it's super helpful for smaller channels like mine. But for this video, let's get into it and let's start off by looking at why you need a Cash ISA in the first place. A Cash ISA is a type of savings account that offers tax-free interest, meaning you'll be able to keep all the interest you earn inside the account. If you don't save for a Cash ISA, you face the risk of needing to pay tax on the interest you earn, since you're required to pay tax on any interest earned above your savings allowance in non-ISA accounts. The next question you might have is, what the hell is the savings allowance? And what it is an amount set by the government for which you can earn interest tax-free no matter what type of savings account you use. And the level of your allowance depends on the tax band you're in. So for basic rate taxpayers who earn around 12k to 50k, they have a £1,000 savings allowance. For higher rate taxpayers earning around 50k to 125k, they have a £500 allowance. And for additional rate taxpayers earning above 125k, they have no allowance. For most people who fall in the first two tax bands, achieving over £500 or £1,000 in interest sounds a lot. And for the last 15 years, it would have taken a huge amount in savings to get over the £500 mark in interest, let alone the £1,000 mark, as interest rates with most banks have hovered around the 1% mark for much of the last 15 years. For example, if you're a higher rate taxpayer and have a savings account which earns 1% in interest each year, then you would need £50,000 in savings just to get to the £500 mark in yearly interest. And the limit on contributions in a Cash ISA is £20,000 each year as part of your general ISA allowance. So it was simply not worth opening a Cash ISA for much of the 2010s, as the maths simply didn't add up. However, don't close this video just yet, as over recent years many people have been going above their savings allowance. The reason for this is because interest rates have rapidly increased over recent years to a level where many banks are offering above 5% in their easy access accounts, meaning it takes a whole lot less money to go above the savings allowance compared to the previous 10 years. And if you're in the boat where you might go above the savings allowance, then this is when a Cash ISA might be worth it. And let's take a practical example to show how a Cash ISA may be beneficial. Let's say you're a higher rate taxpayer who has £10,000 in a savings account with a 6% yearly interest rate. And given these conditions, you'll earn £600 in interest each year. And without a Cash ISA, £100 of that interest would be subject to tax at the 40% rate, given that you only have a £500 allowance, so £100 of the £600 in interest would be subject to tax. And this would mean you would lose £40 in tax if you didn't use a Cash ISA. So if you have similar circumstances to this example in potentially going over the savings allowance, then it's definitely worth opening a Cash ISA. However, if you don't think you're going to go over the savings allowance, it's likely not worth opening this type of account, as typically Cash ISAs have lower interest rates compared to other savings accounts, so you'd be opening this account for no real benefit. And now we know whether the account type suits you, let's talk about Chip and go through the benefits of their Cash ISA. It goes without saying that the funds are of course FSCS protected. Chip themselves are not a bank, but they use ClearBank to hold the funds. And ClearBank are an FCA regulated bank in the UK, meaning the funds qualify for FSCS protection. It's also worth noting that the accounts are set up in your name and you have a sort code and account number with ClearBank. So if Chip do fail as an organisation, they can't access the money as the funds are held with ClearBank, not with Chip, and the funds are held in your name. I don't consider this a benefit, as every savings account you open should be FSCS protected and you should have an individual savings account set up in your name. But I wanted to clarify the setup of the account as it differs to most traditional banks. The first real benefit of note is how easy it is to set up this account with Chip. Anyone who's used Chip's app before will know you can set up accounts in minutes, and this Cash ISA is no different. So let's go through the process of setting up an account just to show how easy it is, and let's bring up their app. And we can see on the home screen the banner to access the Cash ISA account. So let's click on this. Let's click Open Cash ISA. Let's click Open Account and confirm my details. Continue. I'll confirm my national insurance number and I'll click Continue. I'll read all the terms and conditions and click Continue. And now the account is all set up. So that shows how quickly this account can be set up. Of course, I'm already a CHIP member. I've already opened other accounts with CHIP before, so the process is slightly quicker for me. But nonetheless, even if you're brand new to CHIP, it's still a very quick process to open an account with them. So this is a huge benefit in the ease and speed at which you can open this account and access the account through their app. The next benefit is high flexibility. With this account, you can withdraw anytime and as many times you like across a year. This is a big benefit as many other cash ISAs out there have limits on the number of withdrawals you can make, and penalties will be applied if you go above the limits. For example, Virgin Money currently offer a better interest rate in their cash ISA than CHIP, but you're limited to 3 withdrawals per calendar year, otherwise the rate drops to 2%, which is much lower than CHIP's interest rate at the time of recording of 4.75%. Another thing which is neat here is that when you do make a withdrawal, it truly is instant in hitting your linked bank account minutes or even seconds after you request a withdrawal. This is a big benefit as it means you can keep your money in the cash ISA, earning interest right to the last minute of when you'll need it. If we move on to the negatives, the drawbacks of this cash ISA, you'll notice that I didn't mention the interest rate as a positive. And the reason for that is because the interest rate for CHIP's cash ISA is not market leading. It's a better interest rate than the rates offered by the big high street banks. But as we can see here, there's still plenty other players out there who offer higher interest rates, such as Charter Savings Bank, Principality Building Society, and Virgin Money. And my other favourite personal finance app in Moneybox currently top the leaderboard and offer the highest interest rate for cash ISAs at 5.09%. And this is 0.34% higher than CHIP's cash ISA interest rate. So you can get higher interest rates out there with different providers. Similarly, it's worth noting that I would expect the interest rate of this CHIP account to go down over the next year. The reason for this is because the interest rate of this CHIP account is determined by the base rate, tracking around 0.6% below the base rate. Given we expect a few base rate cuts this year from the Bank of England, this will also mean that this account's interest rate will also go down. So given all of this, to summarise whether CHIP's cash ISA is worth it for you, it's my opinion that because the interest rate is not market leading, we simply can't consider CHIP's cash ISA as the best in the market. For most people watching this, I'd recommend using whatever provider has the highest interest rate at the time. And at the time of recording, this is Moneybox. Why I'm recommending this is because the main reason you open a cash ISA is to maximise the interest you earn and keep away from the taxman. And Moneybox currently offer the best means to do this. It's worth saying that CHIP still could be a good account for those who really value flexibility and want to make several withdrawals in a single year, and also those who really value convenience and already have other savings and investment accounts with CHIP and want everything to be in one single personal finance app. But for most people watching this, other providers out there will offer better accounts for your cash ISA. If you want to check out CHIP's other features and other savings accounts which I believe will suit more people, you'll be able to find a video around here. But for this video, thanks for watching.